What's up guys, Damien here. Going to give you a quick walkthrough of the February Industry Immersion Series activity in collaboration with Zurich. So Zurich Canada, big insurance provider, and what we're going to focus on specifically with this activity is how, as an insurance provider, they work to help keep our communities across Canada safe. You're going to learn a little bit about that, as well as the roles and occupations that exist to make that actually happen. So quick overview. Obviously, this is the February activity. Keep in mind, there's a few less days in February. 20 winners, $500 each. That's a micro grant that will be sent directly to you. And in addition to that, there's a couple other specific incentives for this activity. Thank you, Zurich. You have the chance at earning a paid summer internship with Zurich Canada. This is a legit opportunity. Not everybody will qualify, so I encourage you to take a look at the internship details. You need to be in grade 12 currently. You need to also be physically in Toronto or able to work in Toronto this July and August. But if that's you and that sounds interesting, please check it out. You need to complete the February activity in order to be eligible. You don't have to receive one of the microgrants, but you do have to submit an activity video during the course of February to be eligible to apply for the internship. Of the 20 microgrants we're distributing, 5 have been reserved or earmarked specifically for Indigenous students. So if that's you or someone in your community you know who identifies as Indigenous, please let them know about this. We're trying to put the money in their hands. Okay, so let's walk through each one of these steps here and give you an understanding of what you're being asked to do. If you've completed an activity in the past with the Industry Immersion Series, you'll see a lot of similarities with some of the other ones, but some unique differences as well. So the first thing we want you to do is to focus on one of the climate risks, right? We're all aware of climate change, the role it plays in our lives. This is a really cool opportunity to learn how somebody in a non-obvious position as it relates to climate change is creating impact as it relates to the things we're experiencing with climate change. So pick one of these risks: flooding, wildfire, extreme heat, and then of course I want you to make it real and actually find an actual example. So just do a little bit of a deep dive to understand what happened with one of those instances across Canada. Use Google, right? Figure it out. Flooding, Canada, climate change, right? You'll find an example. I gave you some examples here just to get it started, but you don't need to use one of those. And again, just understand kind of the impact that these climate risks have in our communities, the devastation they can cause, because what you're gonna be doing next is learning how insurance actually protects those communities, right? So this is kind of the meatier part of the activity where you're learning about the industry specifically. We're going to give you some resources below. Again, of course, you can use Google. You can use any tool you think makes sense. Just make sure to cite your sources as you're talking about where you got this information from. How does insurance prepare, respond? How do they help recover? And why does this whole thing matter, right? Why is the role that insurance plays an important role, specifically within the context of protecting our communities from climate risks? Then we're going to talk about one of the people specifically involved in that process. And these are just some examples here, resources below if you want to see some other opportunities specifically at Zurich or otherwise. But what kind of roles are specifically involved? What do they do on a day-to-day? And then specifically, how does their work contribute to these pieces that you just looked at in step 3? Right. As always, we want you to look at where are the jobs. So is this a growing industry? Are there specific pockets of the country that more opportunities are prevalent? Cite your sources, talk about where you're finding this information from. And then of course, package this all into a nice little video. If you've submitted this before, you'll notice one thing that I have changed is right here. So I'm giving you 2 minutes or less. It was 60 to 90 seconds before, but that was just some feedback that I heard from students. It's a lot of information in a short amount of time, which is true, but that's a skill to be able to pick the most important, valuable information, especially as it relates to what I'm asking you to do in the rubric. So I'm giving you a little bit more time, but still within 2 minutes or less, please. Everything else though, it's up to you. But what you do to structure that video, how you make it, what it looks like, as long as you're covering the steps 1 through 5 here, and you're doing it with some enthusiasm, you're going to be in a good position. Again, remember there's the rubric here. This is just the summary. So if you click on the link or you click on the link here, you'll see a much more detailed rubric summary explanation. And then here's your link to actually submit your video. Please, 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 please test to make sure that your video works before sending it and making sure that I don't have to log into something to see it. So when I say that you should test this in an incognito window, I'm using Chrome right now. I think all the browsers do this. In Chrome, it's Control-Shift-N or Command-Shift-N if you're on Mac, and that'll open up a window like this. And really just what that means for this purpose is that when you're in an incognito window, you're not logged into anything. So if you put a link in here and it's asking you to log into something, that means I won't be able to see it. But if you put your link in here, your YouTube unlisted link or your Google Drive or OneDrive link that you're hosting this on, and you're able to watch it in incognito, then that probably means that I will be able to as well. Some of you have sent me videos that require me to log in. I can't log in to your accounts. That means I can't actually watch your videos. Our team can't. Okay, so again, some more resources down here. These are starting points. You can go above and beyond. You can find additional resources, some FAQs. That's pretty much it, guys. It's similar to other activities, but obviously with a twist. And grade 12 students who can work in Toronto this summer, you have an opportunity to be part of something pretty cool, a real world internship at a big office in a big building in downtown Toronto. And this is unique to the My Blueprint community. Hook that up just for you guys. Again, if you know any Indigenous students, put this in front of them. Another really cool opportunity. And have some fun with this. Learn how Zurich and insurance as an industry helps to keep our community safe across the country. Thanks, guys.